Oh, YouTube. So if you've ever like decided that you wanted to film while you're doing maintenance on a bike, then you would know that it takes you probably 4 times as long to get the simplest job done, because you're setting up cameras and moving it around. You're like, oh crap, I didn't film that. And you'll put something back to its state that it was before, and then restart the camera so you can film doing whatever it is that you were doing. What's going on now is it's basically it's time for a deep maintenance on this bike. I got to tear it all the way down. I need to check the valves and make sure that they don't need adjustment. If they do, I've got some shims here. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to do that myself. I do have the digital manual, maintenance manual for the bike, so it's not like I'm going in blind. And then I have the other YouTubers out there who are much better than me at this stuff to help me along the way. So there are definitely a lot of options out there for help, but I'm going to attempt to do this on my own, probably using a little bit of YouTube here and there, and some of the friends that I know that work on bikes. But I'm not anticipating it's going to be that difficult. I have done teardowns of the 500. I completely rebuilt the 300. So I'm not anticipating too many problems, but the idea is to get this bike in fighting shape before the summer ends, and hopefully this COVID-19 thing ends and we can start racing again. So I should have got a shot of the coolant before I dumped it, but I dumped it out already. It had a little bit of white milkiness to it. We're hoping for maybe just a head gasket issue. And there is oily residue all around the seals on the sides of this bike. So it looks like oil's leaking from somewhere. It's getting out of this bike. So I'm hoping it's just a head gasket problem. Obviously it could be worse things that I haven't even thought of because I am no mechanic by any means. We got to press on. That's the whole purpose of why I'm doing this, is to find these problems now before they're catastrophic. Obviously the bike's running and it runs pretty well, so whatever's wrong hasn't destroyed it yet. So better to catch it now than to blow up the motor.
Have you ever had the fear of swimming away from shore and maybe getting too far and not being able to make your way back to shore? I'm pretty far out, and this project has gotten a lot deeper than I originally planned. This is fun. I feel like I swam out too far from shore and I'm gonna drown in oil and grease. Well, back to work.
I'm starting to notice that there's a little bit of lack of maybe power or response in the throttle. We've seen smoke come out of the tailpipe before, and that might be an issue. Oh, got it. It's a boy. Yeah. Perfect cut. Just kidding. I don't really care, because again, this doesn't need to be furniture grade. It doesn't have to have perfect measurements. All right, so with a drill and some leftover wood and actually even the screws I pulled out of an old piece of junk project that I was throwing out anyway, basically for free, I built a perfectly functioning engine stand out of just a square block. So, and I know that probably seems simple to a lot of you guys who know what you're doing and stuff, but for those of us who are beginners in things like this, you know, we tend to like overthink things. It's the sides don't line up or whatever. It's not perfectly square, but hey, it's gonna do the job. And I'm gonna be able to get in here and work on the engine just fine. All right, so today marks 1 week since I started taking the bike apart. What started out as just kind of a project to find the things that were wrong that needed to be fixed turned into well, since I've got it taken apart this much, maybe I should keep going. And just kind of started to take on a bigger project. I think I was just gonna do wheel bearings, fix the kickstand, and that was pretty much it, and then it turned into this. And as we get further and further away from the day that I disassembled everything, we're also getting further and further from me remembering how it came apart and how to put it all back together. Rocky Mountain has really dropped the ball on getting these parts out here. I ordered them over a week ago and I still haven't gotten them. So, we're waiting for the piston to show up and it should be here soon. Hopefully. It was supposed to be here today at the latest, but it wasn't here. So I'm hoping tomorrow, maybe Friday, we get the piston and we can go ahead and start disassembling the motor. But for now, I'm not ready to take this apart. So it's been 3 days since I shot this, and no delivery from Rocky Mountain. Now we're on a 3-day weekend, so I won't see anything probably till Tuesday. And I just didn't want to sit here and wait. There's other things that need to get done, parts that need to be cleaned and prepared before the piston shows up. So I'm figuring I can get all the cleaning and all the parts that need to be inspected. I can get all that done before the piston shows up. So when the piston finally shows up, we can just do assembly and get the bike put back together. In the meantime, I've learned a lot about how this bike runs, and I've gone over the manual quite a bit. In the early stages of this, I had to go back and forth between the office where I have the computer that has a disk drive because the manual comes on a disk, and the garage where I'm actually working on the bike, which was really a hassle. Then I printed up some of the sheets, and then I found a better way. What I decided to do was print the entire manual to a PDF file. And then I took that PDF file and I sat down at the computer, and it did take a little while, but I went ahead and I bookmarked all the chapters, all the spots where I need to get to in a hurry for the typical kind of maintenance that you do on a regular basis. So now I have the manual in a PDF, and I uploaded it to my Google Drive, so now I can look at it from any device, no matter where I'm at, which is definitely making things a little bit easier. So that's where we're at. It's Sunday. I just really wanted to get the word out to you guys, let you know what's going on. Looking at this photograph, I think it was the head gasket. You can see there's a couple of areas here where it looks like coolant was getting past the head gasket, somehow getting through there. Or vice versa. Something was going wrong here near the head gasket. Hopefully it's nothing like a warped cylinder head or anything like that. That would be really, really bad. Maybe if you guys have some ideas or tips that could help me out. Kind of late because I'm just waiting for a piston. But right now I am cleaning the bike. I want to get the frame cleaned up. I want to get all the plastics cleaned up. It's not going to look like it's brand new or anything, but since I've got easy access to a lot of the areas that collect, a lot of grime and dirt and stuff, I can clean all that up. Plus I can go around and re-grease all the seals for the linkage, the swing arm, the wheels. I did wheel bearings, all of that stuff. Just kind of knocking out some of these things that need to happen, but probably wouldn't have happened if I didn't dig this deep. So the bike's not going to be brand new, but it's gonna be like new, hopefully, as long as I don't screw anything up. So wish me luck, guys, and I'll see you next time.